Welcome to the Carry On Couple Podcast with Ryan and Katrina. This is our podcast about our adventures and how we make life magical. We're going to tell you all about how we travel the world on a tight budget and still make it awesome.
We can't say that our way will work for everybody, but we want to share our experiences with you so that you might be able to have your own travel adventures. And if you're listening, we want you to know that you and I, we're in a club now, the Carry On Club.
Episode 47!
The 47th.
Last week on Carry On Couple Podcast, we introduced you to New Zealand with some general observations and a quick look at our time in Auckland.
This week, we head to a geothermal hotspot in a city steeped in history and culture. Take it away.
All right, so as usual, we want to shout out Joey.
That's right.
His podcast, Laugh It Up Fuzzball. Here's the picture, as usual. And again, as we say every week, it's a great place for your nerdy news and all the geeky information that is to be.
Yeah, super fun to listen to. Go check it out.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and go on with our episode. We actually wanted to start with some condolences, actually.
Yeah.
There was some recent news from New Zealand about the volcano that erupted and actually took lives. So we wanted to just acknowledge, since we're talking about New Zealand, that it's the tragedy that's happened, and it's sad. It's really sad, but we do want to show you that there is still joy in the small yet large island of New Zealand. So
that's right. Yeah, so just, throwing it out there. If you'd heard about it, been reading about it, it has been all over the news. Definitely, a sad moment, horrible tragedy for the people involved. But like you said, there still is a lot of great reasons to go visit this country. Bad things happen everywhere, every day. It sucks.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about some super awesome things.
Okay, so let's talk about some super awesome things.
Yes.
Let's start with our short list of general observations. How about this first one you have here is Kia ora.
That's right. Last week, that was the name of our episode.
Yes.
And we want to tell you a little bit about that because even before we went, we started realizing that everyone was, addressing us with this phrase.
Yeah, and to me,
emails.
it started with Michael. Yeah.
Our travel agent, which we've talked about a few times. So we were getting this there, and then when we got there, we were like, man, this is, it's a hello, it's a goodbye, it's a, safe travels, be well. It's kind of like...
It reminded me of aloha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar feel. People say it. It's very... what does it actually translate to? Or loosely
I think it was
to?
best wishes.
I thought it was, best wishes or be well. Or
be well. I think it was be well.
So it's just a really nice sort of...
Be safe?
Be safe, be well. That's about the same
thing.
Be
well, be safe. Yeah.
Loosely translated. I think it's more of a feeling.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice feeling. So it was a really... it makes you feel good when people say it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed that little snippet of fun that they give us there.
Yeah.
Another thing is, again, we're gonna say it. Lots of green.
It's green everywhere. Literally.
All over the place.
So green.
Yeah, and because of the green, we're surrounded by nature.
Yeah, that was coming from Los Angeles. That was the weirdest thing to just be constantly surrounded by nature, all the time, even in the city. There was nature everywhere.
Yeah. So more specifically to Rotorua's general observations is we get there and we're like, wow, this place stinks.
It's smelly.
Literally it stinks because it's volcanic. There's sulfur, that sulfur smell that's all around.
There's a lot of geothermal activity. There's a lot of hot springs and thermal pools. And so that sulfury kind of skunky fart smell.
Skunky fart smell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just lingering.
But if you could get over the smell, Rotorua is great. And one of the things I liked the most about it is the culture there, the Maori culture.
Yes.
It's all over. Very strong in Rotorua.
Which makes sense because that area in particular is very, very culturally significant to the people. So it totally made sense. But it was really a different sort of, societal observation, I guess.
Yeah, I get it.
Because here, we have the Native Americans, but they were forced off their land. They were, just so many bad things. We don't have to get into that at this moment. But it's harder, I feel like, to see the culture unless you kind of go to specific places. And for so long, their culture was being like ripped away from them. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, I feel like you could see all of the attempts to help keep the culture alive, help promote the culture. There were schools that teach the language and the different histories and dancing and carving and all this stuff and all these things around to help try to keep the culture thriving and alive and, I don't know, just supporting it. And it was really nice to see that in a community.
Yeah, and it was especially prevalent, like we said, in Rotorua. It was definitely strong there.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about our lodging now? Is that what we're kind of getting to, or did I skip over anything?
Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but Rotorua is best known for its geysers, hot springs, and mud pools.
Mm-hmm, definitely things you're all about.
It's like a spa town.
Yeah.
And it actually has had a reputation for being a spa town since the 1800s.
Oh, cool.
Which is pretty crazy. People go there to kind of take in the healing powers of the area. Like I said, it's a very sacred part of the country for the Maori people. So that is pretty crazy. It's one of the world's most active geothermic fields. So when we were talking about that's why you have that smell everywhere, that's why it's like that. It's pretty crazy. And then we talked about the Maori people already in this region. The native population makes up about 35% of the population here, which again makes sense why the cultural presence is so strong.
Yeah.
And how they have all that stuff trying to promote it and everything, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, now we can move on.
Now we can move on to lodging.
I just wanted to share those tidbits.
Before we talk about where we stayed, let's talk about kind of like an honorable mention.
Right.
Because it was someplace that we had actually looked into
during the trip.
Because we met up with people actually during something we're going to talk about later. During our Blackwater Rafting, we met people that were staying at one of these locations. Now, this place is called Woodland Park.
Yes.
And it's one of the craziest places to stay near, was it Waiatamo?
Yes.
It has, excuse me, a Hobbit motel.
That's right.
A boat.
Yeah,
but not on the water. A train, not on the tracks. And a plane, not in the air.
But these are all places you can stay.
Yeah.
And the people that we ran into who told us about this place were staying in the cockpit of the plane.
Yeah.
And maybe we can, I don't know if we can include some pictures here.
Yeah, I'll throw some pictures up here.
But just, oh my gosh, if you are listening and not watching, check it out, look it up. It's really just like a fun kind of quirky little place you can stay.
Yeah.
It's not super expensive, but it's not exactly budget either. It's a little, like, it would be kind of more of a splurgy.
Yeah, it would be a splurge for us, yeah.
Probably, unless you got there the right day, the right place, maybe.
Yeah, not out of our budget, but not exactly something we'd be like, oh, let's stay a lot of our days here.
Right. And I think, you probably don't need to stay a ton of time there because it's kind of like the weird, like, hey guys, I stayed in the cockpit of a plane one time. Like, just a fun thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was very intrigued by it though, and it looked pretty cool. So this was just something that we kind of were like, man, if we knew about this beforehand, we might have stayed there for a night.
Right.
So we thought we would throw it out there for you guys. But let's talk about where we did stay.
So where we did stay was called the Prince's Gate Boutique Hotel.
I kept calling it Princess Gate.
Yeah, because it didn't have an apostrophe.
Like in the
right?
In the travel documents we had there, the apostrophe was not there. So I thought it was like princess, just like one S. And then we found out, no, it's Prince apostrophe S Gate.
Prince's Gate.
I like Princess Gate a little better, but you know.
I thought Princess Gate sounded better.
Right, so cute. But this boutique hotel is absolutely gorgeous. It was one of my favorite places that we stayed. It was so cute. It really reminded me of like The Crown or something like that. It's like just absolutely stunning. It's very, very, very cool to look at.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up a video while we're
cool.
talking about this here.
It's extremely glamorous, and it's historical. It was built in 1897 and restored a super crazy attention to detail.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Yeah, I mean, even on the main sign there, there's no apostrophe.
Right.
But then you look at it doesn't have an extra S, so it's the Princess Gate. It's got like the old-fashioned kind of lobby
wood,
thing.
this beautiful staircase.
And we were there during Christmas time, so the Christmas
know.
tree was so cute.
Roaring fireplace with big comfy chairs that you could just hang out whenever you wanted.
It was cold there, wasn't it?
It was pretty cold. It was raining.
At night. Oh, that's right. It was raining. That's why it was cold.
Yeah.
But like this old staircase, when we're walking up it, I'm not sure if I'm going to have sound here, but it's creaking.
It's creaking.
Yeah.
And the furniture, like I was in love. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of all those Victorian style houses that I wish I could live in.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, the cool thing is actually at the bottom of those stairs, there was actually 2 on-site restaurants, and there's also a bar.
That's right.
And now it was one of the first live cabaret shows. Is that what it was?
Not one of the first, but it's known for its live cabaret shows.
Yeah.
And it also, one of the other restaurants is known for its traditional high tea. We weren't able to do the high tea or the cabaret dinner type thing. Just didn't work out while we were there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
now
really
I'm not
fun.
sure if you saw, but like we walked outside
to get to our room.
That was it. Yeah, we weren't just walking outside
up
just to
some
explore
stairs,
outside.
Out of a hallway. Oh, look, we're outside again.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful. Like you can see, it's beautiful, but it still smells.
Beauty, just surrounding us.
Yeah.
And the rooms had these really cute names to them, of like famous.
Oh, I forgot about that.
British and maybe New Zealand people too. But it was really fun, and they had like cute little chairs and stuff outside so you could sit on them and take in the sights. We didn't do a lot of that because it was very windy and very cold. So we didn't do a lot of sitting outside, but it was so cute. And if you're there in good weather, you can totally do that.
Yeah. One of the things that you really liked about this place is the pool.
The thermal pools.
There was thermal pools.
They were these wonderful little hot spring pool things. They were just really pretty. And then we went down there every night and got in there, and the water, it did smell kind of sulfury, but the water felt so nice. It felt good, yeah. It was so relaxing. And when we were down there, it was raining, so it was kind of just like extra steamy and magical looking. And it was so funny because most of the time we were the only people in there. And I don't know if that was because it was cold and rainy and no one wanted to be in there. But I was like, when you get in the jacuzzi and you get really hot and then you don't want to be in there anymore. It was perfect because then the rain was also hitting us. So I was like, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm perfect.
Yeah, it was nice. So we stayed 2 nights.
Yeah.
2 nights. And actually, let's kind of look at our room here that we went to. So we had the Peter Tapsil room. Room 18 is where we stayed. But it's a nice room. Like I can imagine this being like a quarters for somebody that like worked there or something.
They redid all of the things so beautifully. We had chandeliers, we had mirrors, the furniture, the drapes. Like it looks so elegant and so beautiful. You really feel like you're, I don't know, like royalty or something staying there.
Yeah, and it's like it's not like a huge room really. It's big.
No, but I mean it was perfect for us.
Yeah, it was really good for us, but it just felt very elegant when it's staying there. But like look at the drapes and everything. That's beautiful. They did a very good job with these rooms here. But yeah, so that was where we stayed. Anything else about Prince's Gate? About the lodge itself?
It's super fun, super wonderful. When we were there, we talked about the live kind of dinner show thing. One of the nights when we were down in the pool, on the way back, we ran into people leaving one of those cabaret party type things. Mm-hmm. And it looked like so much fun. So definitely, if you get a chance to do that while you're there, I would highly recommend it. It looked like a blast.
Yeah.
And if we had been there for another day, I would have for sure wanted to do the afternoon tea because I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
And I would have felt so fancy.
That's funny.
So I'm kind of sad we didn't get to do either of those things, but definitely check it out if you happen to take us up on this recommendation because I would 100% recommend staying here.
Yeah. So let's move on to transportation. And actually, we didn't talk about this. We kind of briefly touched on this last time, but we got a rental car.
We did.
So pretty much from here on out for our trip, we had a rental car.
Yeah, I think so.
This one was really nice because they gave us a free upgrade.
Yeah.
And the best part about this free upgrade for me, since I was the driver, like all the stuff was switched.
Everything was on the wrong spots.
Everything was on the wrong side except for the pedals, which is really nice. I didn't have to relearn the pedals.
That would have been horrible.
That would have been really weird.
Think about that.
But yeah, the greatest thing was there was a way to set the window wipers on auto, which we have those here. It's just we don't usually go by this luxury. The window wipers on auto, so as soon as it sensed water, it started going, and if it sensed more water, it went faster or went slower. It was the coolest thing.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've never seen window wipers that readjusted themselves based on the amount of rain that was coming down.
I've heard of them, just never been able to afford them.
Mythical creature. I don't know. It was amazing.
Mythical creature.
Right? I was so excited. And when we got home, I was like, I wish all cars did this because I don't know about you guys, but when it rains, I'm like, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off.
Yeah. And
so
it was
so nice to just have it figure itself out.
I'm trying to remember what the car was. It was like an SUV crossover.
It was kind of like a bigger sort of car. I don't remember. It was a brand that I don't think we really have here, and I can't remember what.
I know it was an SUV, but I
don't know if we took any.
Or not an SUV. I know it was like a smaller SUV. We have a picture of us in front of it somewhere. I'll put it up right here if I got it. It's just kind of a lame picture, but there it is, anyways.
All right.
But yeah. So anyways, we drove this car. I say we. You drove in the car. I drove the car.
I was in the car, everyone.
From Auckland to Rotorua, which is 336 kilometers.
At least the way we did it.
Yeah, the way we did it. Which is 208 miles. And if you're from California, have no fear. It's about 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in California here we measure everything by time, not by distance.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It was our first long drive that we did.
That's right. We were able to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was super nice. A couple things that were suggested, and then a couple things that we kind of, again, with the amazing signage, we just kind of saw and were like, that looks like fun.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it here soon.
Yeah. But we already mentioned the weather a little bit. Mm-hmm. But pretty much the whole time we were there, it was really cloudy, kind of windy, a little chilly, and raining on and off, and kind of a lot of rain at times.
Yeah. The car was a Hyundai.
Oh, I was thinking the other one.
You were thinking of the other one.
My bad.
Yeah.
We do have that here.
I was like, that's why I kind of laughed just now. It was a Hyundai. But yeah, so are we moving on?
Moving on.
Who's in the mood for food? All right, so let's go with the stuff we had at the Prince's Gate. Gate. It's even hard to say it the right way.
It's really difficult.
We started with breakfast, and it was fancy. This fancy place had fancy food.
I know, it was so nice. You could do kind of like a continental breakfast where they kind of had a lot of the stuff set out, like the toast and jams and stuff, and you could grab
but
stuff.
that was kind of pricey for continental, wasn't it?
Kind of, and I think we had breakfast included, I want to say.
Did we?
I believe so.
Oh.
It was a part of our package.
Oh, okay.
So
I believe you.
Yeah, so we did like regular breakfast or just ordered off the menu.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a really nice dining room. I can totally understand why they're known for their restaurants and everything.
Yeah, I wish we had a video of the dining room because it looks...
It was very,
like a ballroom.
Very pretty inside. And the food was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound like a broken record because this whole series I'm going to be talking about how everything was super fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
Like just from the farm down the road, probably. Mm-hmm. It was all delicious and wonderful and good for you and amazing. So just pretend that I just said all that again.
So but you did. So let's talk about the actual food.
Okay.
So I don't remember who got what, but I could kind of guess maybe. There's the hash stack hash browns.
That's right.
With baby spinach, field mushrooms, avocado, poached egg, and freshly made hollandaise and bacon. Just look at that. It looks so pretty too.
It was, and so it was even prettier. I think I had already started eating when we took the picture because it was even prettier. It came as like this tower, and that's basically the reason I ordered it, because I saw the picture and I was like, you're gonna give me a tower of food?
That's so funny.
I am in. And then we also had a lot of times Ryan and I do this where we do like one sweet thing and one savory thing, especially for breakfast.
Yep.
Because I know I personally like always want the sweet thing, but I don't actually want the sweet thing.
And I'm good
like
with
I want a
food.
couple bites of the sweet thing.
Yeah.
And then I want like lunch or dinner for
so
breakfast.
what did we get?
So we got orange and macadamia pancakes with toasted macadamia nuts, orange segments in the syrup, and creme on the side.
Yeah. It was
It was so good.
oh yeah, the creme fraiche. Creme fraiche.
It was amazing. We absolutely loved it. Like I said, the quality of the food was so good. And so good. We had breakfast there again the next day.
And so the next day we had French toast ciabatta, caramelized banana, crispy bacon and maple syrup. I mean, I'm putting these pictures up here, and they're so good. Like, it was so
delicious.
good. And then there was the egg Benedict, 2 poached farm fresh eggs served on a toasted ciabatta with freshly made hollandaise sauce served with wilted baby spinach and bacon.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Literally, like I said, everything was so good. The flavors were so bold and so delicious. And I left extremely happy every time.
Yep. We also did...
oh God, this is my favorite part of this segment.
So we went to Hobbiton.
That's right.
Which we may or may not get to in this episode. But we're going to talk about the food at least. We had 11sies.
11sies, guys. They had a thing on the menu. It was called 11sies. Of course we ordered it.
Yep. And what all did it have?
And it was
on there?
actually like 11, I think, when we ordered it.
It was about 11.
It was about 11.
Yeah.
We had 11sies at about 11 at Hobbiton.
Yeah. Yeah, she's freaking out here. Yeah. So what was in the 11sies?
Okay, so the 11sies was this little platter plate thing that they gave us that had some cheese, some meat, some grapes, pickles, relish, sort of like a...
I mean, you look at it, it looks like
relish.
a charcuterie kind of thing.
Some bread slices.
Yeah.
It was very refreshing, very, very yummy. We also ended up getting a sausage roll, which was it was warm, delicious. Why don't we have sausage rolls more often here at home?
I don't know, and I'm guessing we didn't get a picture of it because we ate it before.
I'm pretty sure we ate it real fast.
Actually, you can see in the picture that I posted up. I'm going to put the picture again. I can see the plates of the stuff. For some reason, we didn't snap a picture of it.
And then because it's me and I like dessert at every meal, we got a slice of blueberry cheesecake.
Yeah, you can see the cheesecake in the corner.
Which was definitely one of the most delicious cheesecakes I've had in a long time. They're so funny. Because, like I said before, everything was made with fresh, local ingredients. And the cheesecake was like the perfect consistency that just melted in my mouth.
Question.
What?
What was that in the middle?
That's the relish.
Oh,
so that's why I was saying it's kind of like, it was like a mix of like fruits chopped up.
Yeah.
Like a chutney kind of relish.
I get it.
It was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
All those flavors, guys. Just like little flavor explosions in my mouth.
Yeah. We also had beer at Hobbiton.
That's right. So they have their own sort of their own brews, basically.
Yeah.
That they make specially for Hobbiton, which is just my heart. Guys.
Super awesome.
My little heart.
Super awesome.
The ones that we tried, and I think I can guess who tried what.
Probably.
We tried the Grindle Fine Grain Amber Ale, which was a 3.7%. It was described as light, malty, and sweet.
Yeah.
And we also tried the Sackville Cider, apple cider, which is 4.7%, described as tart, sweet, and refreshing.
Yeah.
They were both really good. We bought a bottle.
Should I grab that bottle real quick?
Yes.
I'm going to go grab that bottle.
So he's going to grab that because it's in the other room, and I didn't think about that until right now. But when we got to the end of the tour, which we'll talk about later, we had the option to buy some and take home. We were kind of sad at first because they didn't have either of the ones we tried available for purchase to bring home. But then we were kind of excited because the only one that we didn't try there, we ended up getting to take home, and we actually loved it. And it's a great souvenir. So the bottle is so freaking adorable, and it says Hobbiton on there. It's got a little story.
It says Hobbit, and it has the South Farthing, Grinley fine grain, so it's the same. This was the amber ale, because there was something else that
I put the wrong one that we tried.
There's something else that I had in the Dragon.
Yep,
it was a darker beer. It was a darker one.
Switched them.
Yeah,
but so this was the one that we did not try.
Right
there, but when we got home, we loved it.
But it was so good.
Yeah, it was really good. And it's so cute. And now we just have it up on display. And it's
and it was like one of those ones where it has like the cool little cork thing where you pop it out and it pops off. So it's like it could be reusable if we wanted to, but we're not going to. But yeah, so that was really good. And then we had this super awesome Maori dinner.
Yes. It was kind of like a part of a cultural experience and dinner combo thing that we did. Do you want to try and say that?
The hanji meal?
I don't think that's how you say it.
Hangi?
I'm pretty sure we're murdering this.
Angi?
I don't know. You might have to look it up to know.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up still.
But basically this is a traditional meal. It's also kind of could be the way you cook it, and a meal that you share with friends and or family, kind of a celebration. So it's a social event and a meal. Both.
I think it's hangi. Hangai? I don't know.
Pronunciation?
I'm looking. Keep talking.
So the meal, let's see how to say this. The Maori believe that the earth is the giver of life. So your food should come from earth. It should come from the soil, from the rivers, from the sea. And you should also cook that food using the earth also.
Hangi.
Okay. So the way that they do that, they have two different ways that they cook things in this traditional way. One is beneath the earth.
Yep.
So it's in kind of a pit. Traditionally it was just a pit that was dug, and then hot stones were at the bottom, and the food would be wrapped in leaves and put on top of the stones, and then wet cloth and dirt would go over that, trap the heat in there, and slow cook everything. But when you go on a tour, there are regulations.
Yep.
So now, for the more kind of commercialized version, the pit is kind of like, it's got some steel.
Yeah, you can see
the
it
food's
here.
in like wire baskets. It's protected a little different.
And they still put a cloth
They put the
on
wet
top.
cloth on top, but there's no dirt on top. So it does change the flavor and everything a little bit.
But it's like opening up a present, because underneath is this right here.
It's just beauty.
Oh, man.
So much.
That's all meat.
So much meat. And there were some veggies in there too being cooked.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the traditional food that's being cooked, like we said before, are fish, chicken, root vegetables, such as kumara, which is sweet potato. Guys. The sweet potato. And like so I already kind of described how it gets put in there. When the food is done, it's cooked for anywhere from maybe 3 to 4 hours.
That's slow cooking.
When it comes out, it's so tender. The meat just falls right off the bone. And the vegetables, everything's infused with kind of this smoky, sort of earthy flavor. It's unlike anything I've ever tasted. It's so good. And then we didn't get to try the other version, but the other version is using what did I say? geothermal energy to cook it. So it's like steam cooking using like the hot springs and stuff like that, which they did offer at one of the places that we went, but we did not do it. So I don't know what to say about that, but it exists. But this was such a amazing meal. We ate so much food. And I just wanted to keep eating.
Yeah, I wanted to keep eating too. That was a lot. We don't have any other pictures of the food because it was more like a buffet when they actually served it. So it was like wasn't like photo worthy.
It was, a big bunch of people, but it was amazing. So good.
But let's move on with food here.
Okay.
We have a lot of food at this place. I like it. There was the Hoo Hoo Cafe.
Ooh.
And this was actually
name.
This was actually recommended by a local.
Yeah.
It was the Blackwater Rafting place, right?
Yeah, the lady who was working there suggested it to us because we were starving, and
she asked if we were driving ourselves, and she's like, "Oh, well, you got to go to this."
Yeah,
place.
she's like, "There's only one place I'm gonna send you if you have a car."
Yeah,
and it's this one. And we went. It was like 10 minutes away, so that was super convenient. And we showed up.
It reminded me of going up to like a cabin up in up in the mountains. Like the picture here, like kind of like, like in a cabin, you kind of drive up some weird slope and get in there. I don't even remember if there's a lot of parking at this place.
There was a decent amount of parking, and then the restaurant was actually on the second story.
That's what it was.
And there's lots of windows, so you have this really great view. If it hadn't been raining, they have really nice patio seating, apparently.
Yeah.
But it was raining. The staff was super friendly, very nice, super helpful. And again, everything there, like the menu changes a lot because everything that they serve there is made with fresh local ingredients, and it's all freaking amazing. So good. They also offered a lot of local as in New Zealand beers, ciders, and wines, which was really great. So we got to try a few things there. And got some good recommendations. I don't remember exactly what we had, but we loved everything we had.
Yeah.
It was really good. And
are we going to go with what we ordered?
We should talk about our food.
Yeah. So we got lamb curry, coconut rice, mint yogurt, garlic rewena bread.
This is what I ordered.
Yeah, obviously.
Because I can't get enough curry.
Yeah.
And lamb is also a favorite of mine.
So then there's also the potato and Parmesan gnocchi, pasta sauce, basil oil, and Parmesan.
Yeah.
That was mine because I love gnocchi.
Yeah, I know. Super easy to tell what we're going to order some places. And we did like a halvesies thing and split.
Always.
We both absolutely loved it. I can't remember which one I liked more. I think it was mine.
I think it was yours.
It was really good.
The gnocchi was good, but we had just had the gnocchi in Port Douglas, and like really where it's like the's no way it's
true.
Better than that. Okay, so are we done with food?
I think that wraps up food. I guess we were talking about wrapping it up, putting it in the ground.
Got it.
Should we bury it? Should we bury this topic?
Sure.
Let it simmer?
Sure. Not for 3 to 4 hours though. That's too long.
It's too long. We're not going to be talking that long today.
No. Okay, so let's go on with our activities.
Let's talk about it.
Started out with lots of driving.
Yeah.
So
we mentioned this already.
Yeah.
Lots of driving. Just to remind you, it was, about 208 miles.
Yep. 336 kilometers, 4.5 hours.
So much.
But we did stops along the way. We didn't go straight there.
And we're not going to tell you all of them because we honestly don't remember all of them. Some of them were really short, quick little things. But
most of them were like, oh, look at that waterfall. Ooh, look at that hike. Ooh, look at this hike. Ooh, look at that hike.
Right. We did a lot of hiking.
A lot of hiking.
So we're going to tell you about some of our favorite stops.
Yeah. So there's the Cowrie Loop track. It's about 2 hours outside of Auckland, so about the halfway point for us.
Yeah.
And it is the 3 kilometer loop, but the way they measure things is kind of like how Californians measure traffic.
Yeah.
They measure things by time.
That's right.
So they put on their sign, this is a 40-minute hike. One way.
And about 2 hours.
Or some of it's round trip. Some of it.
Round trip.
Yeah, some of it does round trip, some of it does one way. Oh yeah, 2 hours round trip, that's right. But yeah, so that I thought that was really interesting how they did that with their signs.
I really liked it because we tested it a few times when we were doing some of the hikes, and it felt like their timing was pretty close to what our timing was.
Yeah, I think theirs was a little slower than what we did. Because I remember we always looked and we're like, okay, we can do this one a little bit faster than that.
Yeah.
We're fine. But if for like an average person, I think it's pretty accurate. Like and we could tell like on the days where they were longer, we're like, okay, we're probably gonna take all this time.
Yeah. And this one in particular was the first one that we came into contact with, like a boot washing station.
Yeah, and we have a video here. Let me throw this up there as soon as I can find it. Talk about it real quick while we're...
So the trees that they have, the local trees, what was it, Kiori?
Yes?
I think
Kauri.
The Kauri. Yeah. I was close though.
Okay, so
the Kauri trees. They are in danger from dieback.
Yeah.
So it's like this bacteria that's carried through the soil that is killing the trees. So they're trying to prevent that. So when you go in to these forests, they have stations set up for you to clean your shoes.
That look like this.
Yeah.
So it's like all these warning signs. It carries dieback, and you know they have it up there.
Very clearly, like tells you what to do.
Yeah, look at these pictures. It's foolproof. You go in there, you do that. There's also the things on the side that like if you do have stuff, you notice like more aggressive dirt.
Right.
You can get it. Like we actually used the squirt bottle on the way back.
We used it, on a couple things, but these ones I think we hadn't really done any hiking yet.
This
so
was the first hiking, yeah. So it says check.
Clean.
So we're checking it. And then last thing you do is you step on this little green thing, which actually has a little squirt. Like to me, it felt like Indiana Jones. Like darts were gonna start coming out if you pressed on it.
And it squirts up some
but you can see on the bottom there, this shoots
to
up
clean off and kill anything.
Disinfects it.
There you go. That's the word.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was really interesting. So we made sure we followed everything that they had there, got it all ready to go. And then the beginning of the trek was kind of the hardest part because there was lots of stairs, some stuff you had to climb over. And then after that, it was fairly even ground, pretty easy.
Like not like paved, but
it
was a thicker. Like you can see some of the stairs here that we had to go up.
Yeah.
This was about halfway through the hike, so I think in the video I'm like, oh, here's more stairs.
Right. This is another thing too that the path is very clear, and this is something they talked about a lot. Like it's on little signs. They want you to stay on the path because that is the best way to protect the native plants. And to use those hygiene stations when you enter and when you leave a hiking area. You have to clean your shoes both times.
Yeah, because if they have the dieback in a particular part of the forest, it can leave with you and go to a new part of the
really
forest.
Easily. There were some spectacular views. The bush, the wildlife all around us is so beautiful. You've seen in some of the videos that Ryan's been putting up.
Mm-hmm.
So green, so lush, just absolutely gorgeous. We also got to see one of the largest, how do you say it again?
Which one, the kauri?
Kauri.
Yeah.
The largest kauri trees in the area, which was estimated to be over 1,000 years old.
Yeah, we got those pictures somewhere. Let me throw those up here. We got one with me and one with you. We didn't get one with both of us because
the tree was too big.
It was too big. But like you can
impossible.
see, like on one of these, I have it like zoomed out, and it's huge.
Yeah,
it's crazy how huge it is.
We couldn't even get like half of the tree in the picture.
Yeah,
even standing super far back so that.
Like
you
can
see,
see,
thinking the one that we finally did get the whole
yeah,
tree.
But you had to do panoramic.
It's a panoramic.
Yeah.
Filter. I was like, why does that look so weird?
Yeah.
It's panoramic, so we could get the whole thing in there, so it looks super weird.
But you see how small I look.
Ryan's super tiny.
Yeah, we got one with you
and
too.
And apparently I remember the sign there saying that is estimated to be only like possibly half of the tree's life expectancy.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. So they want to protect these trees because they're native trees and they're unlike anything else like in the world. They live so long, they grow so big, and they're gorgeous. So just if you're there, like, do the thing. Clean your shoes, pay attention, stay on the track. Yeah. Be a good tourist.
Yeah. Be good to our nature.
Be a good human.
Yeah. We also did the Ruakuri bushwalk, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away from the Kauri Loop track. So we're actually pretty close to Rotorua at this point.
Yeah.
But this is where we discovered a forested gorge, where there's that like the natural cliff kind of thing with the limestone arches.
Yes.
I actually have a video of that too.
I was like, the what? Yes.
We actually did a little bit of cave hiking. I mean, much as cave hiking can be.
They did have a few spots where it directed you to go into the cave. And kind of look around and come out. You can see
us coming. It's not. It's almost. This one kind of felt like Disneyland, but it was real.
Yeah, but there was another one that we went into that was like a little more. You got to kind of get into it more. I don't know if we did a video.
I don't think we did that one because that one was like right under like a waterfall. It was really wet. That's right.
It was super wet, and it was under a waterfall. It was really, really cool. The entrance. So I think that the one that we did not get the video of. It's the Natural Bridge viewing platform.
Yeah.
And so the entrance to this part is very dark. So just be really careful.
We might have gotten a video, just deleted it because it was terrible.
Yeah, it might have been bad. And the platform extends out over a large kind of cavernous tunnel where you can see all the stalactites and stalagmites. Which one's which?
Stalactite is up, stalagmite is on the bottom because T is for top.
Yeah. And there's a stream running below it. And like I said, you can see like the waterfall and stuff. It was very pretty. It was very cool to be in there and checking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Pro tip.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Pro tip. You can see the glowworms here for free.
Ooh.
I know.
Now we didn't mention the glow
word.
Yeah, we didn't really mention
We didn't mention them yet. We're about to tell you a bunch about them. But this is like a big draw for the area is to come see the glowworms. And this is one of the only places where you can see them for free. And if you come at night, the glowworms illuminate the banks of the track. The best place to see them is on either side of the main bridge. But make sure you bring a torch.
A torch?
And I'm not talking light it on fire, people.
Oh.
Flashlight.
Oh, okay, that's what
a torch.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it gets very dark. And you're climbing around, and everything's going to be wet and slippery, probably. Yeah. Like, you're going to need some light.
And you still don't want to...
Your cell phone is not going to be enough.
Right. And you still don't want to walk on, like, the roots of anything.
Stay on the path. Yeah. So, definitely, we didn't get to do this. We were there during the day, so we did the hike during the day, and not at night. But so many people told us, like, oh, if you get a chance, come back at night. And we just didn't have the time to do it. But we did get to see the glowworms another way.
Yeah. And what it was is we got to go to the Waitomo glowworm cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about 10 to 15 minutes away from this bushwalk that we just did. Mm-hmm. We were scheduled to do the Ruakuri cave walking tour.
Yes.
This was through Discover Waitomo. This is where you journey down through a spectacular spiral entrance and marvel at the softly folding shawl-like limestone formations and crystal tapestries. Hear the distant thunder of subterranean waterfalls and get up close to glowworms. That's about a 1.5 hour walking tour. Yeah, that totally was scripted and everything.
I know.
Yeah,
that was straight off their website.
Yeah, we take the description straight off their website.
And it did look pretty cool, but we got to the location to check in, and we saw some of their other tour options, and we were like,
there were much better ones.
Need to do something.
There were much better ones. Now, this is where we got to say it doesn't hurt to ask to change your thing, even if it's planned through a tour or like for us with a travel agent. We called our travel agent and asked him like, hey, like we're gonna change this. What should we do? He's like, oh, you pay for that one in full, and I'll refund you the money for the one you're not going to do. So it was that simple. So it
doesn't hurt, and don't be afraid to change your plans. Like if sometimes you have to book stuff so far in advance, and if things are available and you've changed your mind, then go for it. Do something else.
So what we did instead, we did the legendary Blackwater Rafting Company Black Labyrinth. That sounds legit.
I know.
It sounds so much cooler.
It was amazing.
Now for this one, you float down an underground river and jump off of subterranean waterfalls.
That's right.
Not just hear the thunderous roars.
You jump off.
You jump off the waterfalls as you admire glowworm-studded cave interior of Ruakuri Cave.
Oh my god.
This water was really cold. But you do get to enjoy a hot shower. You get a soup and a bagel afterwards.
Yeah, they warm you up a little after they freeze you to death.
This one's a 3-hour tour. As it says here, you weave, jump, climb, and float through a glowworm-studded subterranean wonderland.
And this is such an accurate description.
It really is.
Like, 100% guys.
The good thing about it was the tour left at the same time.
There was a tour that left at the same time.
But that one was booked up. That's
full.
what it was, yeah.
So that was, like, we asked, it was full, and we were about to give up, and the lady was like, oh, but we have another one leaving in a couple hours. Do you guys, I think it was like 3 hours later, do you guys want to do that? And we were like,
yes.
Like, do we?
Yeah.
So that's how we got the recommendation for the food, the hoo-hoo cafe. And we got to go do the bushwalk tour, or trek, because we had a couple hours that we needed to kill before we could do this awesome Blackwater Rafting tour.
Yeah. So she did ask us if we had swimsuits and a towel, and we're like,
and luckily we did.
Yes, we did, because we hadn't gone to our hotel yet. We still had all our stuff in our car.
Yeah.
You do need a swimsuit and a towel, but they do provide wetsuits.
Yeah. Oh, also, pro tip here, if you are at all a cold person, gets cold easily, me, guys. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
They will offer you extra layers to put on underneath, or at least one extra layer to put on underneath your wetsuit. It's like a fleece jacket.
I don't remember. Was it a wetsuit or a dry suit?
They said wetsuit on the website.
Okay.
So, so I opted, even though the lady was like, it's not that cold today, you guys will probably be fine. Then she added, but if you get cold easily, maybe just take one anyway. I was so happy I took the extra fleece thing, because at one point, I was shaking. I was like shivering so hard. My bones were rattling. I'm pretty sure I turned blue and purple. I was so cold. My hands stopped working, like, so bad.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, there's no way I wouldn't do it. So just the pro tip here is, if you get it all cold, make sure you take that extra layer. You're going to want it.
Yeah.
It's going to help keep you a little more warm.
And yeah, you enjoyed it very much. They have you do practice jumps.
Yeah, they kind of take you out as a group. You're all decked out in your ridiculous looking wetsuit, complete with like booties, and oh my gosh, it's just, you look so fun. And you got your big old inner tube, and they take you over to like, what was it, like a little dock? And they're like, okay, we're going to teach you how to jump off the waterfall. So you're going to do this. It's like, like bend your knees, lean back. You're jumping like backwards off the waterfall so that you land butt down in the inner tube. And so they want you to do a practice run, they say, so that we can make sure you're doing it right when you're out here and it's safe, because you're in like this nice little streamy bit. And then they like casually throw in that, this might be a little cold. They do not tell you that they're going to also use this opportunity to get some ridiculous photos of you. So you get some really great pictures. We have one of Ryan that's amazing. Like, his picture is so good. I totally messed up, I think. I did a jump in twice, because the first time I did it wrong.
Yeah, you had to do a redo.
And I didn't, they were like, okay, don't do that because you might get hurt. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad I did a practice run. So I had to do a redo, but my pictures are not as good as his, but that's okay. I'm
trying to find the link to the pictures, because we got the...
We'll find it later.
Yeah, we'll find it. But I was like, oh man, they're so good.
They're really good. So they use this for a photo op. I guess we should let you know. You cannot bring your own camera.
Yeah.
Video camera, picture camera, whatever. No pictures, no video on your own. It just takes away some of the distraction, makes it easier, less chance of accidents, I think, if you're not dealing with all of that.
Right.
But they have someone who comes with, one of the tour guides is in charge of pictures and videos, and they do take a lot of pictures and take some videos and stuff, and you can purchase them at the end, which we did, because they were awesome.
Yeah.
So basically after that part, you go back and they take you on a little hike down to the cave. you're going to be, I don't know, I don't want to say like you have to be fit or in shape, but you do have to be able to move fairly well.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be climbing over and on top of slippery rocks and uneven surfaces. It's going to be kind of dim lighting. We had actually an older man who was signed up to be on the tour, and we made it into the first cave. It was really hard for him, and we were getting ready to keep going, and they decided that he was just going to have to bow out because they were worried that he was going to... he was worried, and they were worried that he might injure himself because of the uneven terrain and everything like that. So just something to be aware of. You really do have to pay attention the whole time. Like, I almost twisted my ankle at one point.
I fell at one point.
We both fell at one point.
Which we're actually going to talk about. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
So, you just have to be really careful. Oh, another thing, too, which you were actually kind of nervous about. We get down there and they let us know, like, okay, it's going to get a little narrow.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to go for a little bit, kind of crawling through this little part of the cave, and it's if you have a little bit of claustrophobia, just if you can push through, we'll be in a big open sort of space shortly.
It was something I thought I would never do, and I did.
Yeah, and we had someone else who we convinced in our tour group. This was a pretty small tour group too, of like 10 people,
if that,
something like that. And we convinced one of the other girls to stay because she was kind of really freaking out about the kind of small space. And at the end, she was really happy that we all kind of like peer pressured her into staying. And we had just met her, but I was like, if you think at all that you might be able to do this, like, you got to stay. But yeah, and when you're down there in the caves, they also tell you a little bit of like history of things and some of the cultural significance surrounding these caves, which is really another interesting layer to the tour, because you think you're just going on this kind of like adventure-packed adrenaline, like, and you're going to go do stuff. But there's so many little parts to this that I really liked that they did that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're tubing.
Right.
We've mentioned the inner tube a couple times. You're tubing down there on an underground river. You're also walking through the river at times.
You have to carry your own tube.
You have to carry your tube. Don't lose it, because if you lose it...
No tube.
No tube. No tube for you. There's no extra tube. It's not coming back. It's a real river. It has a current. The tube is gone.
Yeah.
And we've already mentioned this, but you get to jump off of waterfall.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this in the video that we have coming up.
Which is pretty amazing. Here, I just want to say, listen to the guides. They're experienced. They know what they're doing. They're trying to keep you safe.
Yeah.
So listen to them. Pay attention to them. It's really, really fun. I was pretty scared because I'm a big chicken.
I was so stoked for this part.
And I was really excited. I knew I would love it once I did it. But I get really, really nervous about things beforehand. So I was really trying to, like, calm myself down. And I was so happy I did it. So
yeah,
you can do it
good.
too. And then probably my favorite part.
The glowworms.
The glowworms. Yeah,
so the glowworms is really cool because I think we mentioned it. We had, like, the helmets with the lights on them.
I don't think we did yet.
Okay,
but you
we
get
had helmets with lights on them. But at one point they tell you, turn off your headlamp. It's like, okay, we all turn off our headlamps. And then the ceiling just turns, like, green speckled.
Yeah, and right before that, they have you lay back and you kind of form, like, this human caterpillar chain on your inner tube. So you're laying on your back and looking up at the ceiling of the cave, and they're like, okay, switch them off. And the whole ceiling... Oh my gosh.
It almost looks like again, this I say Disneyland a lot, but almost looks like a Disneyland ride. Like
it looks so unreal.
It lights up the cave.
It was just completely magical, breathtaking, gorgeous, spectacular, stunning, like any word you can think of. It was so pretty.
Yeah, it looked like the stars.
It did. It really did. It looked like the stars were up above you, even though you knew you were however many hundreds of feet under the ground. And we floated there and just took that in with our tiny little group of people, nobody really talking, just absorbing that moment. And that alone I think made that tour worth it to me.
Yeah. And you know what? Let's go actually back in time to our past selves talking about this immediately after doing this.
Okay. All right. So, well, here we are again.
Yeah.
We got to the cave tour place, and we were trying to figure out what tour we were doing. And when we got there, we saw these people walking out holding towels, and they were like smiling, and we were like, "Ooh, what are we doing?" And they were super excited. And then we go in, and there's this picture of people like tubing down the river in the cave, and I was like, "Ooh, is this what's happening?" And then we asked, and they were like, "Oh, you're doing the walking tour." And I was really sad because I was like, "What? Now I know there's other options. I want to do that." So then I made Ryan ask if we could switch, and the lady said we could. We just had to delay things like what was it, 2 hours?
Like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, 2 hours, and for the next available tour. Best choice ever. It was amazing. So we got to go, they called it Blackwater Rafting, and see the glowworms still, and I don't even know how to describe it. It was amazing.
Well, it's something that I probably never would have done myself. Like, if I probably would have wanted to do it, but right at the entrance of the cave is like a super tight, well, like super tight squeeze. Super tight for me. I don't do well in small spaces, but it was one of those things where I was like, okay, a bunch of people have been doing this, I'll do it too. But it was scary for me. But it was really cool. We had to wear those like helmets with the lights on them, and we had to carry our tubes the whole time, which was kind of fun.
Yeah. Super uneven terrain, very slippery because everything's wet and
I fell
mossy.
once.
Yeah, Ryan fell. I didn't fall. That was
I almost got
amazing.
sucked down the river. Yeah.
This is true. I was
Yeah,
kind
the
of
walls are
scared.
slippery. Be careful.
Yeah. Yes, they tell you to hold on to the walls, but the walls are kind of slippery, so there's that. But yeah, it was super, super awesome, and I don't know, it was freezing. We'll say that. It was very, very cold, so be aware that it's very cold. But other than that, it was super awesome, and I just can't believe we just did that. We got to jump off of a waterfall twice.
2 waterfalls.
Yeah, backwards. So
Yeah.
there's that.
We had to jump backwards. We couldn't. There was no
Yeah.
choice for going forward.
I don't know about you, but the second one was the tallest waterfall, and the lady was standing there helping you get in position, then counting you down, 1, 2, 3, jump. And she got to 3, and I was like, nope. But I still did it, and I was really proud because I almost changed my mind.
It wasn't like a crazy tall waterfall. It was maybe like 10 feet.
I don't know, it was pretty high.
It was.
It was like coming off the high dive board or something.
Yeah. But we were in inner tubes.
Yeah, it's in a river.
Underwater or underground.
In a cave. Yeah, I don't know. So it was just kind of weird. But pretty much everybody did it. There's only one person in our group that didn't. I don't know. It was just so cool. I think the tour that we had originally booked was like half the price of the tour that we did. And it would have been kind of cool, but it probably just would have been like, oh, that was pretty, okay. And this was like an amazing experience. So
We saw where the tour was gonna go, or like the walking tour was, and I'm so glad we did the other one because we were basically, I don't know what, like 50 feet below where the walking tour was.
Yeah, we were
we
pretty
saw
far down.
one of the walking pathways that they had. Like, I honestly don't think I would have liked that one because I always have a weird thing about things nailed into rocks. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a solid. I mean, yeah, it's obviously a solid structure, but how they do it, like, it's always kind of iffy for me. So being under all of that was awesome.
Yeah. And at one point we were like 200 feet underground.
Yeah. 65 meters.
Yeah, so that was crazy. I don't know. I think this was 100% like the coolest experience. I would definitely recommend it. It was amazing and so much fun. I'm actually kind of sad they had our tour was 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours, and it's a workout. It's a lot of work. But they had a 5-hour tour, and I'm kind of bummed that we didn't do that one.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I think it would have been a lot of fun doing that one, but it was also pretty pretty intense as it was. So
Yeah, it was. But it was just like right when we got there, people were getting off the 5-hour tour, and I was like, man, that was an option. Why didn't we do that? But I absolutely loved the one we did, and it was so much fun. And I'm on like such a high right now. I'm like, wow.
So yeah, we were way down there, like we said in the video. That's crazy. We didn't mention though. We did not mention how dark it is at one point.
Well, yeah, they wanted us to experience total darkness.
Yeah.
So you want to tell?
Yeah, you turn off the lights and you literally like I could put my hand and wiggle it right in front of me and I couldn't see my fingers.
It was very surreal.
Yeah.
It was kind of like jarring because you feel like this is what it must be like to be blind.
Yeah.
Because you know everything's around
complete
you and you
void.
can't see anything. No matter how hard you try to readjust your eyes, it's like you can't see anything. So I'm really glad they did not have us do that for very long because it
Right.
was very like unsettling. But that was pretty crazy. Another really crazy thing that happened here, we talked about the weather earlier. It was raining a lot.
Yeah.
And so we get into one of the bigger parts of the caves, and there's these markings on the wall. And we were asking questions, and they were like, oh, let me tell you about this. So go ahead.
Yeah, so they say like, when it gets to a certain marking, they have to cancel the tour and evacuate people up the ropes that are right there. Because when it gets to a certain point, they know that the cave is going to fill up with water.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously we were in a safe level, but it was pretty high. And they were like, yeah, normally it's about, this much lower than it is now. And we were like, are we okay? And they were like, yeah, see, we've got all this room until this line. Like, we're keeping it very close. There's someone in there watching that level, and they all had walkie-talkies so they could talk to each other and stuff. So very safe, but it was very trippy to see.
Yeah. Yeah, but so out of all, like, the claustrophobia, the pitch blackness, the extra money, was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. 100% would recommend this to anybody, everybody. It's an amazing experience. I would do it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely do it again, too.
I said that like a question only because I was like going to say I would also. They had like one version that was like more adventure-y than this. And I feel like if we did it again, I would be like, we're doing the crazy one.
Yeah. That one's like 5 hours long.
Yeah. But it was amazing. And it's a really unique experience. Like, whenever we tell people about it, they're just like, you did what?
Yeah.
And again, like, never knew I wanted to try that, but
I always bring it up by saying,
happy.
have you ever heard of Blackwater Rafting?
Yeah, I'm like really happy we did it. And I would definitely say it was worth the money.
Yeah. Well, I think here we need to end this episode because it's getting a little long.
It is.
So how about we save our next adventures? What do we have to look forward to here? We have Hobbiton. We have, oh my gosh, Skyline.
There's so much more we have to tell you guys. We did so many more fun activities.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna save that for next week. So come back next week. We will be even more festive than we are this week, getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I guess cue the music.
Thank you for listening this week. If you enjoy this show, please share us with your friends.
And review us.
That's right. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Seriously, we're everywhere.
Everywhere. You can follow us too on Twitter at CarryOnCouplePC, Instagram or Facebook. That's CarryOnCouplePodcast. And you can also email us.
That's right, at carryoncouplepodcast@gmail.com.
Now, we're all about these free podcasts. We're just doing this for fun. Really, we are. However, if you do want to support us, we won't say no to money. Just go to anchor.fm/carryoncouplepodcast and click the support this podcast link. We have an exciting opportunity for you. That's right, you can be heard on Carry On Couple Podcast.
What?
That's right. It's simple. You just download the Anchor FM app, search Carry On Couple Podcast, tap voice message, and start recording.
That's right. And if you have any tips and tricks of your own that you want to share, or any fun destination stories from a recent trip that you went on, please leave us a message.
The great thing is you can still listen to Carry On Couple podcast on the platform of your choice. But if you want to be heard, download Anchor FM and leave us a message.
Until next week, thanks again, and remember, you and I, we're in a club now.